Throughout the course of the 23rd season of American Idol, newcomer Carrie Underwood, together with fellow judges Luke Bryan and Lionel Richie, has assembled a group of singers who have the potential to become the next big thing in the United States. They observed auditions all throughout the country, then sent approximately 140 of these contestants to Hollywood, and finally, they narrowed the competition down to the top 24 contestants before leaving the fate of the singers up to the viewers to decide by texting. Take a look through the following to find the most memorable performances from Season 23, which began airing in March of 2025. As soon as she saw Bailey Littrell in the opening of Season 23, Carrie Underwood saw her as a familiar face. The son of Backstreet Boys singer Brian Littrell, the college student from Alpharetta, Georgia, who is 21 years old, is a former member of the band. Bailey took a chance by releasing an original song titled "Waiting on Myself to Die." This was in response to the fact that there were expectations that he would pursue the road of syrupy pop. Despite the fact that the judges were sufficiently persuaded by the acoustic guitar set and the tenderness displayed in a song about not allowing oneself to give up, they nevertheless demanded a father-son duet. The song was performed once again with Brian's participation, and he contributed the higher range for the chorus. In addition, Brian was left in tears after receiving 3 affirmative responses. You can read the complete recap of Episode 1 here. Isaiah Miselagalu, a senior in high school from Las Vegas who is 17 years old, is not only the captain of the varsity football team, a member of the honor choir, and the president of the Polynesian club at his school, but he also possesses an extraordinary ability for singing. He sang "A Song for You" by Donny Hathaway with his silky voice, which was imbued with confidence and emotion. His uncle Luigi, who played an acoustic guitar, provided accompaniment. Moreover, the performance was one that you will want to play again and over again. On the other hand, Underwood was adamant that she could not think such voice could have been produced by someone who had only lately begun performing in front of other people. It seems as though you've been doing it for a very long time. You made it sound like it would be extremely simple, but it is not. My goodness, you are such a liar, she chuckled. His performance during Hollywood Week was praised by each and every member of the audience. Soon after Carrie Underwood boldly declared that she was not a crier, she was shown to be mistaken when Slater Nally, who was just 17 years old at the time, played a song that was dedicated to Carter Davis, who had passed away. Carter Davis was the son of Mrs. Davis, who taught English at the high school level, shown. This song, "Traces of You," was composed by Mrs. Davis using poems that she had written after Carter was murdered in 2016. Because the judges were so taken by the young person, they did not even feel the need to cast a vote. Simply put, the 3 individuals made the announcement that Slater was going to Hollywood. She brought in some backing, which consisted of her mother, Carney Wilson, and her aunt, Wendy Wilson, before the college student Lola, who was 19 years old at the time, and her father, Rob Bonfiglio, began singing and performing her audition song. In other words, Lola is now considered to be one of Brian Wilson's grandchildren. While Underwood mouthed along, Lola, Carney, and Wendy were the first to sing the chart-topping song "Hold On" in the year 1990. On the other hand, when it was time for Lola to leave the nest, she sang "Rainbow" by Casey Musgraves while her mother cried with pride and fanned her face from the sidelines. The quality of her performance was sufficient to advance her to the subsequent round. You can read the complete recap of Episode 3 here. Have you already picked up on a theme? In addition, Nina Day had a touching encounter with her family while she was auditioning. In spite of the fact that it was the 25-year-old's very first time singing in front of other people, she managed to overcome her anxieties and perform a heartfelt original song about her elder brother Joe, which caused Underwood to sniffle away tears. In the end, the judges decided to give Nina 3 yeses for Hollywood Week, despite the fact that they were conflicted between whether or not to send her through or to hold her back so that she could develop Bonnie Raitt's "I Can't Make You Love Me." Landon Kennedy, who is 20 years old, shared a heartbreaking history of overcoming challenges. Landon's voice was extremely clear and powerful from the very first word that she spoke. Although there were a few flaws, there were also some great riffs that demonstrated his one-of-a-kind interpretation of the song from the 1990s. She told Landon, "You have so much raw talent," and Underwood agreed. "I feel like you would be one that would be a lot of fun to watch grow in a competition like this." As a result, he was dispatched to Hollywood with 3 positive responses. You can read the complete recap of episode 4 here. Never Would Have Made It by Marvin Sapp was the song that Canon James Hill, a 17-year-old aspiring preacher, launched into during the Showstoppers round of Hollywood Week. Hill's vocals were crystal clear and unadulterated from the very beginning of his performance, which earned him the 3rd and final platinum ticket. Ryan praised Canon for his great range, moved into a little bit of scatting, and produced a massive compliment. "He's one of the best singers I've ever seen." Canon's performance was a huge success. Richie, who had just graduated from high school, was so impressed with his rendition that he told the judges, "That was the greatest performance I have ever seen." Richie's cover was a really impressive performance. At one point, Underwood went so far as to yell out to the crowd, "He's exactly 17. "Oh my goodness." While Richie repeated, "Top one," Brian remarked, "Top one." You can read the complete recap of episode 6 here. At the Orpheum Theater in downtown Los Angeles, Thunderstorm Artist performed a copy of John Lennon's song Imagine. He opened his mouth, let a smile to grow across his face, and utilized not much more than his voice and his guitar to enchant his audience. It was a straightforward yet emotionally touching performance that didn't require any assistance from the band at all. This was a smart choice, considering that several of his rivals had difficulty singing along with the live band throughout the performance. While Desmond Roberts was performing a cover of Heart's song Barracuda during the Showstoppers round, it was clear that he was battling for his right to live. In order to help his family, who are going through a difficult financial time and had moved in with his grandma, he was doing this. By the time he had finished his introductory lyrics, Lionel Richie was already rolling away from the judge's desk in shock. He later performed a complete 180-degree turn to emphasize his confusion of the situation. During the performance, Desmond yelled, beatboxed, and took us on a roller coaster ride with that song, as Underwood put it. Desmond made it to the head-to-head round after a few of the other singers were eliminated from the competition.